Shit, I can't hear you.
Yes, sir. So we got a jam-packed show for y'all today. We're going to touch on the tight ends. We're going to touch on the top tight ends in this draft. Let me make sure that it's live that way that I can talk to you guys while we are broadcasting, because we have a really, 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 really good show. So let me see. Are we live? Is it showing up? Yeah, it is. All right, cool. Really, really, really good show. So let me see. Got the echo right here. All right. So Elton, so talk to the people about what type of show we have for them today.
Let's see, we're gonna get into our top 5 tight ends this week. And actually anything else that is Cowboys news, but we're definitely diving into the tight end class, which I'm a big fan of.
Okay, yeah, I am too. After doing my research on a lot of these guys, there's a lot of pro-ready guys right now that we very well could use. So I'm going to ask you how you want to do it. Do you want to do a countdown, or do you want us to, like, you do your 5, I do my 5? How do you want to do it?
We can switch. I will pick my first, and then you go. We can start at number 5 on and then work on up.
Okay. All right, cool. So I'll let you go first. Who's your number 5?
My number 5 is Isaac Nada out of Georgia. He is probably, as far as star-wise, he is the most highly ranked guy coming out of high school. But actually, if you look at him at Georgia, it isn't really a lot of game tape on him. He's probably the most naturally gifted guy to me in this class, especially if you look at his high school highlights. But actually in college, he was more blocking more than anything, and actually Georgia's QB wasn't that great either, so they wasn't really passing a lot. So they was really more run dominant. But actually, he's probably the best pure pass catcher in the class. But if you look at the highlights, you actually really can't tell because he wasn't really productive, because that's not what they did.
Well, what I saw out of him was a big guy. Like if I had to compare him as far as a tight end, I don't think I could compare him to really anybody. But he's a really big body. He's kind of like a football player. Like if Kane the wrestler was a football player,
yeah,
tight end. He's like for me, I think that as far as fluidity, I could tell he has athleticism. I can tell he's kind of big. For me, I need to see him in a different system. I don't think that the system was very tight end.
No.
To what you were saying. So I couldn't really tell if he was a nuanced route runner, or I couldn't really tell how much of a mismatch problem he was, because they were more of a
run offense.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I didn't have him in my top 5, because I didn't I really couldn't see exactly
who he was. You like, okay, yeah, you actually get a little glimpse, but he actually went there to basically block. So
essentially he was James Hanna at Georgia pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. So my number 5, and I know a lot of people are gonna kill me for this one, but after doing some research and looking at multiple guys, my number 5 is Irv Smith out of Alabama. Yeah, I had him at number 5, and him at number 4 are really close. But if you actually watch tape on all these guys and you listen to my explanation as to why, you'll see why he's my number 5. And I know that on CBS Sports, he's like their number 40th ranked player. I'm going off of what I see, and I more so see more of an H-back than a tight end. I didn't really see him being as effective in the 3-point stance as I saw all the other guys I have before him. But he can slide into a receiver in bigger packages. So, like, if we were to get him, like what we use Noah Brown for, we really wouldn't need Noah Brown, because we could use Irv Smith to do a lot of the same things he does. He probably runs better routes, probably gets better, and he probably has better hand. He's a better player than Noah Brown is. So
yeah, Yeah,
So,
I
so,
agree.
so motioning him into the backfield to be the fullback, the H back type guy, I just see him being able to fit in a role for us like that.
Sort of like Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't really think he was that great at the point of attack when blocking, and that's why I have him at my number 5. As far as a pass catcher and after the catch, yeah, he's my number 1. But if you are talking about, like, not talking about athleticism, if you're talking about the tight end position, I think that 4 guys play it, like, balance it out a little bit better as far as the dual threat more than Irv. But he's explosive. So, I mean, that's just where I have him at number 5. So, what about you? What do you have for who's your number 4?
Irv Smith.
Wow. Like,
Irv
we
Smith.
weren't that far. We weren't that far off then.
No, because what I noticed watching him, I mean, maybe his route tree is better, but he actually was basically only running in flat routes. He would do a couple drags across the formation, but he was pretty stagnant. I mean, when he got the ball, he was good with it. Because it was one play versus, I want to say, Texas A&M. He actually catches a little 5 route. He actually shakes the linebacker and actually scores. Like, okay. But to me, he is still a less explosive O.J. Howard because O.J. Howard made a lot of big plays for them when he was there. And I don't quite see him as that, but he actually is a body catcher also that I noticed.
Yeah, I did notice that as well. As far as hands go. Yeah, that's a very good observation. Very good observation. So my number 4 was Caden Smith out of Stanford. 6'5", 252. They got him going anywhere between, I guess, maybe late second round to 4th round. And I told you this, when I watch him, I see Jason Witten 2.0. I see the car.
Me too.
You saw it?
Watched the highlights. I said, he almost run like him. I'm like, man,
yeah.
they went back to college to get that last year on.
Yeah, I was like, man, this has got to be his little brother or something, man. He's a little crafty. He's even as stiff as he is as far as his athleticism goes. I would say as far as all the tight ends go, he could probably be the most solid blocker from what I watch game tape of, as far as getting leverage and actually just stonewalling guys. And it wasn't just little guys out there, defensive linemen, defensive ends, he's stonewalling them. And once he got his hands on you, he's pretty much got you there. So that's what I really liked about Caden Smith. So for people who haven't, another thing, he's a dirty work guy, just like Witten. So I think he could be a 3-down tight end type of guy that we are looking for that we don't have yet. So,
and watching him, he always seemed to then find open space on the field. He always got that little bit of separation to get a QB a damn open throw. He always found that little soft spot. I like that. You actually need that out to a tight end.
Exactly. Actually, that's kind of what we're missing. He, like you said, the craftiness. So, like, he would get into his break, arm separation, then, linebacker, safeties, like, big and physical. He puts his body, in between him, the ball, and the defender. So I really like that. Joseph Sandberg said, is Smith that draft different from Schultz? So I guess he's saying, is he different from Schultz, that they're from Stanford?
Not really. I mean, I think he's probably a better receiver than Schultz, but they almost seem like the same player to me.
Yeah. And the one thing you can hang your hat on as far as Stanford goes, they're gonna bring their as far as blocking. Yeah. I think that he's a bigger body than Schultz. I think Schultz is a lot leaner. I didn't really see Schultz use his body in between the ball and the defender like he does. I think he's more massive than Schultz is, as far as like us having a big security blanket for Dak to throw to. Schultz was more of a in the seam type guy. I think that Smith is a little bit more well-rounded. Not that much more, but I think he's more well-rounded than Schultz is.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so who's your number 3?
My number 3 is probably my favorite one out of all of them. Jace Stoneberger from Texas A&M. Because when I watch him, he runs fluid routes, and actually for a tight end, it is rare to see arms that long. I mean, to me, he's a little Travis Kelsey and damn Zach Ertz. If they had a baby, it would be him. People don't because actually Texas A&M didn't really have a great QB, so actually it, people don't know who he is because of this was Jimbo Fisher's first year there. But if you watch how Jimbo Fisher used the tight ends, he used them great. To me, he is probably the best route runner. He is a good vertical threat. I actually didn't see him block too much, so I don't. So I actually really can't say about that. But to me, I am damn scared if he has a great combine.
Yeah. And he definitely, the thing about this tight end class is I think that it's very, like outside of one guy, I think that it's very close as far as going from 4 to 5, in my opinion. And a good comp could definitely, like, for example, if Irv Smith has an outstanding combine as far as his measurables go, he's going to probably be the number 2 off the board, just based off of what he can do run after catch.
Sternberger, when I first, because I actually found out about him looking up at a mock draft, and it was somebody on NFL.com who actually had him going to us in a second. I'm like, who is this? Let me go look him up. Then probably a minute into the tape, I was in love. I was like, yes, this is what we need. I'm like, this is what we need.
Yeah, so for me, my number 3, I'm going to agree with you. I had Sternberger as my number 3 as well. Massive target. Here go my notes. Massive target. I got him going probably between the 2nd and the 3rd round. The biggest thing that stood out to me was that he's a crisp route runner. And he probably, of the 5 that I have, he's probably the better route runner out of all 5. He knows how to use his hands, elbows to create space. And, you know, that's something that is big in the NFL because you're going to have linebackers and safeties that can run with your tight ends. So how are you creating space? Like a guy like Jason Witten wasn't very fast, but he stayed around for so long because he had craftiness with his hands, his elbows, his upper body, that he could create that little bit of space for the quarterback to fit the ball in there, because it is a tight window type of league. So those are the type of tight ends that fit well in the league, and he has those type of attributes. The one con that I had for him was he's a little choppy on his outbreaking route. So you can kind of tell. So once he starts chopping his feet, you can tell that he's about to do an out. Yeah. It's a good route, but, you know, ultimately in the league,
he's going to pick up on that tendency.
Exactly. And so if I'm able to pick up on it, I'm pretty sure defenses are too. Now, colleges, you know, it's a little different. He's bigger than everybody, but when you have big guys that can run, that pick up tendencies that are smart, then, you know, they'll be able to pick up on that. So I think that an NFL coach will probably coach that up out of him. And he's good with spacing and one thing that I like about him that I like a lot is that, like, when he runs like his post routes and stuff like that, he doesn't necessarily just 5 steps and run the post. He's actually looking for the hole to run the post in, similar to what we like our receivers to have with the IQ. So you can tell he has IQ. How do I say it? Like, I'm not sure exactly what it is. What do you call it? Like CGI or something? Like with the rope? Yeah. It's like I can adjust on the spot. Mm-hmm. That's what he does with this route running. So that's one thing about Jace that really stands out to me. Let's see. Somebody said, Joseph Sandberg says Sternberger sounds like Evan Ingram, but does that do what we don't have in our current tight ends? Or I guess he's saying, is that what we don't have in our current tight ends?
No, I don't think Sternberg is anything like Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram, to me, is basically a speed wide receiver at actually tight end.
Yeah, I don't think he's Evan Ingram. I think that he's more like you said, like he's got a little Kelsey in him, in my yeah. And if he's in the league a little bit, he's a little bit slower than Kelsey is, but you know, Kelsey probably didn't come in as fast as he was. So I think he's probably not as fluid of an athlete as Kelsey is, but I see a little bit of Kelsey in him. That's just what I see, you know. All right, so let's move on to your number two. Who's your number two? We probably got the same one and two.
Noah Font from Iowa.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, he is probably the number one, but actually to me, how they used him was a whole lot different. I'm not gonna spoil it, but because to me his teammate is number one, but Noah Font probably is the better natural athlete than my number one. But to me, sort of like with Irv Smith, it actually seemed like they only ran him on 3 routes. He is a great red. He is probably the best red zone target of them all. But I would have liked to see him run a more vertical because the few times I seen him run vertical, he was wide open. He actually got the separation, but they actually seem to not do it. He is great at seeing them block. He was good at the point of attack. So to me, he's probably really the best one, but the way he's used and actually from his tape, it is why I have him number two.
Yeah, I agree. And sorry, guys, you know, we created these lists and we really didn't talk too much about it. We didn't really come together as much on these lists, but and talk about it like pre-show or anything like that. But Font is my number two as well. Some of my notes are he has excellent releases. He gets into a stem really well in his route, and he's able to, when he gets in the stem, he's able to fades and posts and stuff like that. He can line up anywhere. I actually seen this guy run a damn bubble route and take it about 60 yards up the field. You probably saw that as well.
Yeah.
I thought I had him as okay at blocking, just okay. I didn't have him as great. And maybe it's because his teammate blocks that much better than him. So it just makes it look like he's not that great of a blocker. As far as these guys go, I would say of my top 5, I would say he's the second worst blocker out of them. That doesn't go to say that he's a bad blocker or anything like that, but his athleticism makes it look like maybe he's not given as much blocking as he could. And I think that he has the most potential out of all of the tight ends.
Yeah.
His athleticism, I mean, he's running away from guys. Like corners, you see, it was an Ohio State game. I watched my man Vosh Lombardi do a breakdown of Noah because, I like to look at different sources. And there was an Ohio State DB he ran away from. And, I mean, it was an actual go route. Like, he's lined up across from him, and he, leaves him. And so, that right there is a matchup problem in itself. I like to see him finish blocks a little bit better, but he's a jump ball threat. Does a very good job of stacking. That's what I wanted to say. So does a good job of stemming and stacking, if you know what that means. So it's like, hey, I get past you, I get over top of you. Now you don't know where I'm going. So I could do an out, I could break in, do an out, or I could do a fade and get over top of you, or I could fake out, do a post. So when I stem and stack you, you're in a no man's land.
You're in a bad throw position.
Exactly. Yeah. So he, as far as the tight ends in this draft, he does that the absolute best. By far. I don't think anybody else is as good at stemming and stacking as he is in the draft. But then again, I'm looking at these names. Nobody has his attributes as far as his athleticism either. So, maybe that's why he's able to stem and stack, because he's actually getting past people,
Yep.
All right, so number 1, without any further ado, man, I already know who yours is. We have the same one.
Yeah, TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah.
And if you look, when I was looking at him, I was like, it is rare. I actually seen a tight end do this many vertical routes all the time. It's like they don't send him anything under 15 yards. I was like, damn. And then he high points the ball well. He actually, like you say, stemming damn stacks you. He damn gets in separation. I mean, it was very rare to see a linebacker within 3 or 4 yards of him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they must teach their tight ends really well at Iowa, dude. That's tight end university right now. Because I got this guy. He's really, really crafty. The one thing that I really like that he does is every rep that he does, every play, he comes
looks the same.
Same, yeah, exactly. So you can't tell if it's a run, if it's a pass. Like, I mean, I'm looking at him and I'm like, I have no idea what this is. Very fluid athlete, very fluid. You can normally tell if you're fluid by the hips. Like, he's not choppy in any of his routes or anything like that. One thing that stood out to me is when he's blocking, he's actually looking to hit people. Like, he's not like he'll chip you and then he's getting to the second level. He's looking for the next guy.
He's sort of like Evan Ingram, who doesn't want to block.
But I mean, this guy, like, he'd be great for zone scheme because he can help with double team on the tackle. If it's an outside zone, he can help with the double team, then get up to the outside backer. He'd be good if you move him around like an H back and have him, lead and stuff. Like, very good. He plays very low. Like I said to you earlier, does he play like he's 6'5"? Like, I didn't even think he was 6'5".
Yeah, he doesn't look 6'5". Tall. No, he doesn't look that tall. Sort of like how Noah Font looks his height.
Yeah, exactly. They're supposed to both be 6'5". Noah Font looks much bigger than him. But maybe it's when you see them standing up, they look close. Maybe it's because he plays with the lower center of gravity. Like, because when I told you earlier, my comparison to him was Dallas Clark because Dallas Clark was short. But he plays low. He plays low, and that actually helps his game a lot as far as leverage on blocking, as far as getting out of your cuts and routes and stuff. So, like Joseph Sandberg is saying, remember Kittle came from Iowa as well, and so did Dallas Clark, didn't he? Dallas Clark came from Iowa too. Yep. So that was partially part of it too. So it's got to be something to the technique of the guys that they. That they all seem to be panning out or they all look the same as far as technique goes. I had that TJ was great at chipping and sneaking to the second level for routes and blocking. So that goes hand in hand with every route everything looks the same. And so that's why he's able to sneak out for play actions and he's able to sneak into his routes. He finishes every play hard. So, I mean, like, if he's blocking you, he's on your ass the entire time till the whistle blows. And, again, excellent releases, and he has great hands. So
yes, he does. I mean, every catch is with his hands. He doesn't – I don't even think I've seen him do a body catch. Everything was hands out, even his red zone ones. He to me because to me he's the total package.
Absolutely, but we ain't gonna have no shot at him, bro.
No,
we have no shot at him. So out of your, who is more likely to land with the Cowboys or what seemed to be the best fit?
I think Jay Sternberger, because I've been looking at the mock drafts and right now most have, of course. Hockenson in the first, Font in the first, and I seen an even Irv Smith. So I think Jace goes in the first. Maybe if he just blows it out at the combine, he runs a 4.5, 38-inch vertical. Then you like, oh, to me, then I don't think we have a shot. But to me, I think Sternberger and Nada. But I don't really want Nada because I don't think he's really played real tight end in about 3 years.
Yeah, and with another thing that we might have a shot at Noah possibly, but he reminds me of Noah Font reminds me of James Hanna, and I don't want another James Hanna. We might have a shot at him, but I don't think we get him to the level that he needs to go. I think you said at one point. He might be good with the New England.
Yeah, I think he's the perfect Patriot.
For me, I like Jace a lot. I don't know if they'll go for Jace, so I'm gonna play devil's advocate here because I like Jace, and I would probably put Jace where you have him. But I'm gonna go with Caden Smith. Even though it was Stanford, we're not opposed to drafting people from the same school.
Not at all. We actually like it.
And just looking at him and seeing that 82, it just brought back memories of what we used to have, and I think that he could really fit that void. Caden Smith, he blocks well. He does everything. He just seems like a Garrett guy. Everything about him, even his mannerisms on the field, just look like a Garrett type guy, and I could see them maybe not second round. Maybe if he's there in the third or the fourth round, I could definitely see Caden Smith holding up the star. Yep. So that's all we got. Do you have any honorable mentions for your tight ends? Because I have some honorable mentions.
No, not really.
Okay, I have an honorable mention. This is a guy out of Michigan. His name is Zach Gentry. He's about 6'8", 262. Big guy. But it's crazy because when I watch him, I don't see him block like he should as a 6'8" guy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, especially for Michigan, because that's a physical program.
Exactly. So they have this 6'8" guy moving around almost like an H-back like we do. They have him. Yeah, they have him doing the 3-point stance as well, but he's what Vosh would call a inline tight end sometimes. But for the most part, they have him moving around, pulling and stuff like that. But I just didn't like his point of attack as far as blocking goes. But he is a big target. He's 6'8", and they have him right outside of the range of guys that we have. There's a guy named Caleb Wilson out of UCLA, 6'4", 235. He reminds me a lot of Jordan Reed, actually. There's a route that he ran against somebody. I forget who it was. I was watching tape on it. I think it might have been Texas A&M. And he did the Jordan Reed shake on the post. Mm-hmm. And it reminded me of him. He has that athleticism like him. He has long arms. So, watch out for him in the later rounds. Jordan Reed type. My other honorable mention was Nada, like you had. So that's what I have for the honorable mention. Is there anything else you want to talk about while we're live?
So yeah. Do you think they signed Marcus Lawrence to a extension or was franchising? Because I know right now they are hoping to get him done because they don't want him disgruntled by actually putting on the franchise tag.
Mm-hmm. I think they're gonna sign him. I think that he's earned it. And from the reports that I'm looking at, it looks like they're not gonna franchise him. Maybe some other guy. Technically, they're in a position right now where they don't have to franchise Zeke or Dak. Because they could always add the option on the Zeke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're not in a position where they necessarily have to extend Dak or Zeke right now. That's a luxury at this point. So I think that they get that deal done. I think they have enough money right now, and I think that if I'm them, and people might call me crazy, but I would probably make him the highest paid defensive end right now. I think that, with looking at Chandler Jones's contract from a couple years ago, I look at something similar to that. Not too far off, but I think that he could demand that, being his consistency over the last 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to me, it is a no-brainer. He is still young. I'm sure they want to get close to Von Miller numbers than actually Khalil Mack, but I think they can meet somewhere in the middle of that. And because I think the only way that he gets the franchise tag if they can't knock out a deal between now and the week after next.
Well, see, that's why I said in a couple of shows ago, it's imperative that we extend Randy Gregory while it's cheaper to do so, because I could very well see us signing Lawrence to this big deal, but then Randy Gregory being the perfect tag team tandem member, and then now you got to pay Zeke, and then you got to pay Dak, and then you're stuck with, all right, who do we extend? And then you're gonna have Byron as well. So that's why I think it's imperative to sign Randy Gregory as well. And you know, right now where it won't be that you're paying him as a top rusher as well, or
because if he mess around and get a 15 sack season, like, oh Jesus.
Exactly. Like for me, I'm like, all right, well look, D-Law has earned his deal, so go ahead and pay him. But Randy, shoot, I mean, Randy would be happy with $5 million.
Yeah,
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, better to do it now where it looked like, damn, we just signed Randy to a 5-year, $40 million deal where it's like 25 guaranteed or something like that. And then, you know what I mean? Like it sounds like it'd be a lot right now.
No.
Trust me. From what I see and what I'm going to see that's going to happen, you're going to get off cheap. Trust me.
Very, very cheap. Because the last half of the season he had, like 4 or 5 sacks. So you see it coming.
Yeah, I know. And to be honest with you, he has more natural talent than DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yes, he does.
Be a better player than him. Because technically this was a rookie year for him. Almost.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, I think that's why I think D-Law's deal is very important, because then you at least have the core with him as the pass rusher. Then you can go ahead and get Randy Gregory done, and then we try and figure out what we're gonna do on the inside, whether we're gonna draft somebody or
stopgap player.
Exactly.
So how do you? So actually, how do you feel with one of our favorite targets? The flirtation is on again with Earl Thomas.
I love it, man. To be honest with you, that he is the reason why. He's the reason why I don't want to bring Byron back after his contract's up. He's the reason that I want to probably trade Byron. And I know a lot of people are killing me on that. And you're like, you don't get rid of a top corner. But with this system and with Chris Richard, it shows that if you build from the safeties on out, you could very well have a more than serviceable DBs. So I'm thinking bringing in Earl and another safety, and you're looking for a trade partner with Byron, because I think we have the corner depth. And I'm thinking Earl like a 3-year deal. That's just what I'm thinking, fully guaranteed.
Because I don't think if Byron was gone, we would miss anything.
I don't either.
Because he played solid coverage, but it wasn't like he was taking the ball away. Anybody cannot get 0 interceptions.
Exactly. You can find the 6 round do that. Oh, as a matter of fact, guess what? Chris Richard has done that before, and guess what? Who that 6 rounder ended up being? Richard Sherman. So I think.
I don't, because to me, I don't think they're gonna let Byron go. But if they did, it wouldn't hurt my feelings. Like, why y'all do that? To me, I think you can get by with Dowden.
Yeah, and I think that really what it would come down to is if whatever you're getting back is better than the compensatory pick that you get for him. I think that if he goes somewhere, obviously Byron's gonna command top corner money. So you get a 3rd round compensatory pick at the best.
Yeah.
So I think that it ultimately would. I think that you would have to get a better player. You probably have to get a player instead of a draft pick, because I don't think you're going to get hired in the 3rd rounder for Byron unless somebody's completely desperate.
I think you might squeeze a 2nd, not unless somebody wants to. Say if New England say, hey, we'll give you the 32nd pick in the 1st round. I'm like, yeah, all right, Byron, thank you for your service.
Exactly. Hell yeah. All day.
I'm like, all right, thank you for your services.
I think, and it sounds funny, but that sounds like something New England. And it's something New England would do. They would take Byron Jones and get rid of that 32nd pick or something, and we trade them a later pick down the road or something like that. I mean, they'll probably fleece us, but I mean, for the number 32 pick, I think that in this draft it might be worth it.
Now, we aren't saying that is a rumor, but I'm just saying if that scenario came up.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'm with you on that, brother. I'm with you on that. Let's see some of the comments in the chat box. Steve Mack said if we draft a quicker tight end, we should trade away Jarwin. He's okay, but not fast enough to be a big threat and not strong enough to be blocking tight end. Daltz is your Witten type. Rico for blocking in end zone. What do you feel about that?
If they get another tight end, Rico's going to be the odd man out.
I agree. To be honest with you, I don't even need another tight end. If I'm going to bring Swain back, I don't even need another tight end for Rico not to be in my plans. I've seen enough of Rico. I don't think that Rico adds anything that we can't get anywhere else, bro.
Yeah. I mean, because I don't think they're going to bring Swain back personally. But if they draft a tight end, say if they get Sternberger, yeah, Rico can go.
Rico could go now for all I care, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He can go. He can go. See you later, partner.
I mean, to me, probably 2 years ago, I was in love with the idea of what Rico Gathers was, but now, no. Maybe he goes somewhere and fits in better, but I don't think we're gonna be the team for that, and that's fine.
Yeah, I think he's too raw, man. At this point, I think that I don't think he has the craftiness to really play and make a difference in the NFL. I think that he's an outstanding athlete, obviously, but keep this in mind. Everything that we saw from Rico, everything that we thought about Rico, we thought that he was going to be a pass catcher, and they put him in the block. I should tell you all you need to know. He's not the mismatch that we think he is. He's not. Maybe in preseason when they got the bums, maybe but
because
they see this dude that they see him every day, and we've needed it all year long, and they only put him in the block. It's not a matter of him not getting opportunities, in my opinion. I just don't think he's good enough. That's just my opinion. I know a lot of my friends, they love Rico for some odd reason. I just don't have the same love fest for him.
Yeah, me either. I'm like, if he could play, I don't see them saying, no, we are just going to stick with Jarwin and Swain. This ain't Jason Witten holding the spot.
Put it this way. If he could play, they wouldn't have drafted Schultz.
Yeah.
So, and tight end wouldn't be on the radar right now. If he could play, we just let Swain go. Swain's not even in the discussion.
To me, I like Jarwin showed me enough to where I like him. I actually wish they would have used him more. But to me, he has showed me something to make me say, hey, another off season, who knows? And if you put him in Sternberger in the damn 12 man, in the damn 12 personnel, I like that. With damn Gallup and Mari with Zeke in the backfield. To me, I love that.
Yeah, or keep this in mind. You got Noah. If Noah falls to us, Noah Fant. You're damn near in the same situation he was in Iowa, where you have a pair mate to where you're playing with, and obviously Noah has showed that he can share reps well and do well with another tight end on the roster. So that's something to think about as well. But I mean, if we were to get Font, obviously he'd have to be the number one guy because you ain't that high for him to just split.
He is Blake Jarwin. He is better than Blake Jarwin now, personally.
Yeah, I agree because I remember the choppiness I was talking about. I think that Jarwin has a little bit of that, but I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. But I mean, I think Jace is better than Jarwin is right now.
Me too.
So,
yeah, I think if we take a tight end in the second round, that is your starter.
Agreed. Anything you take in the second,
Right.
anything. All right. So Joseph Sandberg says he said to Steve Mack, I don't know what you get considering. He said Jesse James is sitting in free agency. As far, how do you feel about Jesse James?
To me, Jesse James was in an offense where you had two actually receivers who actually caught 100 balls. And one point you had Le'Veon Bell almost catching 80 receptions. They obviously didn't think that much of you because you pretty much had single coverage. I'm okay on Jesse James.
Yeah, me too. I'd rather draft a guy.
Yeah.
I think in between rounds 2 and 4, we can find somebody better than Jesse James. That's just how I feel about it. That's how I know we'll find somebody between 2 and 4 be better than Jesse James.
Like if you can't make an impact with the guys Pittsburgh had on the outside.
What are we talking about here? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's all I really got for. And what else is there in news? It's kind of quiet on the front, in my opinion. Other than Earl Thomas, Dak's contract, we pretty much talked that to death. But I do think that the tight end talk today was very good, very productive. I think that we did our homework, and hopefully the people out there are watching and they appreciate it. They go look up some of these guys. So go ahead and give everybody your top 5 again before we head off.
Yep. 1 was T.J. Hawkinson, 2 Noah Fant, 3 Jay Sternberger, 4 Irv Smith Jr., and actually 5 Isaac Nada.
All right. So mine was 1 T.J. Hawkinson, 2 Noah Fant, 3 Jay Sternberger, 4 was Caden Smith, 5 was Irv Smith Jr. So yeah, guys, make sure you go out there and look at these prospects. They are really good. I know that there's somebody that said on one of my last videos, we don't need a tight end, but
yes, we do.
Yes, we do. That's what we're missing. This has been a staple in our offense for a while, and I think that a really good tight end or threat there makes it easier for Amari Cooper and those other guys. So I mean, without any further ado, guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you tune in next week. We're more than likely going to try and do Tuesday or Thursday. Normally my Wednesdays are backed up, but it was a snow day today out in the DMV, so we were able to get it in today. So thank you guys for tuning in. Peace out.
Peace.